Drop the bass.
Hey guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. One of the final parts of installing the sound system into Duty today, I need to get the front speakers installed. So I've got my Focal PS165-fx here, I've got the woofers to do. The tweeters I've actually already done. I'll stick some footage of that in later on in the video. I got those done on the same day as I did my rear speakers, but I'll stick the footage in after I've done like the woofers and stuff. So pretty much, hopefully it's going to be just as straightforward as doing the back speakers. I am probably going to definitely have to make up some wooden baffles, likely to be similar as the ones in the front. So as the same as last time, give me a minute to get the door cards off, we'll have a look, see if it's the same, and go from there. If it is the same, it's probably going to be real simple because I'm going to know exactly what shape I need to make. So let's do that. Okay, so I got both the door cards off, speakers out. Not quite the same as the back ones. Relatively the same-ish sort of shape and screw layout, but the shape of the baffle is actually way different. See, it's thin at this edge, go all the way around here and it gets really fat. So it's an angled baffle. Whether I can replicate that angle or not, I don't know. I may just have to make a flat one. What does it look like on the door card? Okay, so the door card does have a slight angled shroud on it. Yeah, it does. I could probably file that down a wee bit though, make this a more level shroud. I could see my baffle was going to be real close to this thing. And that. Ooh, this one maybe, these ones may be trickier than the back ones were. Probably will we. Jeez, it really is a big angle on that. Let me try and find some 16mm MDF and sort out whether this is going to work or not. Okay guys, so plenty of deliberation, pissing around and figuring out later. I think I may have a solution. Because as you can see, this is the window right here. If the speaker wire would get out of the way. That goes in. Magnet. You can see that's it hitting the window. Quite a bit of space I need to account for there, but then getting that out far enough to not hit the window but not out so far that it's going to hit the door, this is the tricky part. We think we have a solution. I'm going to make a double sandwich baffle out of some 16mm and I've got some 12mm which has a layer of paint on it which makes it about 13mm. So overall there's 29mm of baffle from the metal out to the underside of this woofer. 29 plus we said 15 for the woofer. That's like 44 mils. Grant, how much did we say we had inside the door? 45? Inside the door. Oh man. I'm gonna come out to 44. Yeah, it's gonna be close guys. Either way, basically what it means is I'm gonna have to just try and make this baffle into a whole lot of test fits and probably have to modify the baffle a whole bunch of times to get it to a point where the baffle is in there not hitting the window and the door card goes on without hitting the speaker. Whole lot of pissing around, but that's custom life. We said earlier if this was a customer's car, we probably would have been like, no, we can't put those speakers in, they're too big. But as this is my car and I've already paid for the speakers and also the fact that I really want these speakers, these ones are going in there somehow. Bring your car in. Yeah, can I give you a discount? So what I'm going to do, so here's some wood, giggity. Got some 16mm and some 12mm, no, 13mm, because having, I don't know, it should be 12mm, but I measured it and it seems to be 13mm, but I don't know. Either way, I'm going to use these two pieces. So basically, I'm going to copy the shape of this one onto this thinner stuff. That's going to be a nice wide one with fingers coming out the side of it, and it's going to have the woofer sized hole inside of it. And then on this thicker piece, this is the 16mm, I'm going to make a baffle which is the exact width of the speaker with the exact cutout hole inside of it. So it's basically going to be exactly that width. And the reason for that is because as the speaker gets closer to the grill and the door, bits of plastic get really close to it, so there's no room for any baffle to be sticking out the side of the wood, at the side of the speaker, because it would hit on the plastic of the door card. So it's going to be a 2-part baffle with a wide piece at the bottom and a narrow piece on top. Probably have some screws or bolts going through the wide pieces through into the factory mounting locations, and then some big really long 2-inch PK screws going through the speaker, through the first baffle, through the second baffle, and through the metal, sandwiching it all up with a bit of RTV in between the bigger baffle and the metal to seal it. That's my bastard of a plan. First part is the messy, dusty part of cutting these things out, and then after that it's the big long mission of trying to get them in there. So get ready for a time lapse. I need to make these baffles. Okay guys, so some hours later, I am somewhat with a couple of shapes. Got these 2 donuts made up, which as you can see, perfect shape for the size of the speaker. And then, now see, I fucked up a wee bit, because the first set I made them way too, I made the inner hole somehow way too big. So I fucked up. But anyway, I managed to find some more 12mm, and I was freaking out because I couldn't find any. I found like a piece hiding away somewhere. But I've now got this shape, which actually looks a lot like a 5x7 adapter. But anyway, it's got, where is it? If this is the right hand side, so there's a cut off here because there's a pop around here-ish, and then this corner and side are cut off for the cup holder, which it, comes up close to. So essentially what I'm going to do now is bolt this thing onto the door, follow through the 4 PK screw holes, and then screw through the speaker and this baffle into this one, and then try and put the door card on, and we'll see where we're at. See, because I'm sure I doubt I'll get this in the first go. I'm sure it'll hit somewhere. So we need to see what we adjust after that. So I've marked, that's the right hand one, that's the speaker, and that's that thing. Oh right, there's those things I need to take out. Actually, I could probably just use them for the time being. There we go. Put that in there. One in there. Cool. Okay. These things out. Okay. I think I may have to widen some of these holes up a wee bit so that rather than threading through all of these, it actually like slots through one or two of them and then threads into either just the back baffle or just the metal. Let's get these holes lined up. These should all just line up. Feels like they do. There we go. Just gotta line her up right. Okay. Hand tighten. Yep, they're already, as I expected, super hard. It's quite hard doing this from a rolly chair when you've got shoes on that have MDF dust on the bottom of them, so they've got no grip either. Okay, that's tight. Speaker is in for the first time. Let's just see where I fucked up, I guess. Now, I'm gonna have to do something with some of these wires. That one can just hang down. Okay, that all lines up at that side. Let's have a looky here. Let's have a look from underneath first. Well, that pop clears, and it looks like this whole side clears as well. So what is it gonna hit on? See the membrane all the way around, which is good because the last thing I want the plastic to be touching is the membrane. Oh great, I think it's on. Oh my god, did I get that on at the first go? It definitely resisted a wee bit, so I think that plastic shroud might be touching like the basket or the screws. I could file that down a wee bit, but otherwise the speaker is lined up dead center. Fucking hell, guys. Oh my god. And there's a good, looks like about centimetre, maybe a wee bit less, of room between the grill and the actual membrane, so that means there's lots of room for excursion, because sometimes you get these things in at the exact right point, but it comes out and hits the grill if you've got it too close. Let's have a look from, oh, we can't see from above, but we can take the door card back off and have a look. Oh yep, I can see down there the speaker has got a good at least 8 mils of clearance behind the back of the magnet to the window, so that's fucking primo. Oh yeah, actually I can see what it's hit on. So this plastic shroud, guys, that thing that's coming out the back of the door, you can actually see a piece of the plastic it's been hitting on just there, where it's hit a screw by the look of it. So what I think I might do I want to file that down at all? Because I'm pretty happy with it. What do you think, Graham? Like, because like, the door pops all the way on. Yeah, no, I think what I'm going to do, guys, rather than filing this down or anything like that, is I'm actually just going to put, once I put the speaker in for the final time, I'll put a thin layer of foam tape, even though it'll cover up the speaker's prettiness. I'll put a thin layer of foam tape around on top of this, on top of the speaker. Not on the membrane, obviously, just on the basket, so that it, when it pushes up against this shroud inside the door card, it's like a foam soft seal rather than two hard bits that could potentially rattle. That sounds like a good idea. Sweet as. So what I can do now, knowing that that fits, and I'm going to assume that the passenger side is going to fit perfectly as well, because these baffles are all exactly the same as one another. So what I can do now is put the crimps on the wires. Do I want to paint it? I'll give it a quick touch of black paint since I've got time. It's like only 2 o'clock, so I've got time. So I'll secure these two pieces together and just paint them as one unit with a quick coat of black. While that's drying, I'll put the crimps on the wires. Actually, before I paint it, I need to widen up, or I'll widen up the holes that go through at least in this first baffle. I don't know if I want to do it in the second baffle or not. No, I think I'll leave the second baffle with thin holes, because that way the screws are biting into the wood and the metal. But I will widen up. Primo Dreamo. I'll just give all these screw holes a sanding first to get rid of any like sort of flared up bits of wood that are going to make a ½ mil difference of depth or something. Okay, so I've got my baffle, it's all painted up. This is just the first layer. I decided to do them separately. I'm going to secure this one first with the screws, bolts, RTV, take the screws back out, put the next baffle on with the speaker on it. So I need to RTV this whole surface really. So this stuff is A, glue, but also like rubber gasket sealing stuff. So it's gonna seal any air gaps and also prevent vibrations and also glue it to the metal. Okay, that's on there. So what I'm doing is I've just got over the right length. So I've got 3 M4 bolts which are going to go through the factory mounting locations with nuts on the back. But before I tighten them up, I'm going to use the PK screws in those holes that I drilled to line it up exactly center how I had it. But I can start by just slotting those through there. And I know this is the front because I made my mark. So that's just sort of now what I'll do is I'll quickly clean off this excess RTV that I've got going on. That is most of it. So now I can put these nuts on the back of the silver bolts that I've got. And I always love trying to do this without getting RTV on my finger like I already have. God, it's not easy. And the good thing is I can just like hold this nut, and eventually, because it's got the grabbing bits on the bottom of the nut, it'll just grab the metal and I won't have to hold it from the other side anymore. I think it's tightened up with the screw. So now this one's going to be a hard angle. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands before I do anything more. Okay, now we've been smart guys. We've got ourselves some gloves, some hand condoms. So now that I've got those 3 bolts done up tight, take the PK screws back out. Now the next baffle and the speaker go on at the same time. Okay, so time for the speaker to go in. So something I didn't include in the sandwich last time, but I will this time, is this foam, oh my hands are all dusty from the gloves, is this foam ring, which comes with the speakers. It normally goes in between the speaker and the plate which the grill clips into, but I'm going to put it there just as a anti-vibration pad thing. I should do the same with the back speakers at some point because I do have them, but I forgot to put them in for the back speakers. So there's a few things I'll probably change when I do the sound deadening. Like in the back speakers, I want to paint the baffles black because I didn't do that. And I will, put the foam gasket in, and I also want to, when I do the sound deadening, wrap the speaker wires in like some cloth tape, like this stuff, to prevent it from vibrating. But that's all a big job for another day. Today we're just getting the speakers in and going. Need to position this on here. Speaker. Now I want to get this exactly lined up perfectly if I can, because even though this has slots for its screw holes, they're actually slightly smaller than 8-gauge PK screws, so once the screws are through it, it doesn't really rotate. There, and now I get my long screws that I had. 1. So you can see that I actually have to thread it through the holes in the speaker because the metal, it's cast, doesn't move out of the way, and it's tight. There we go, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to do this without it. Put the crimps for the speaker wires on, without putting RTV on our fingers. All the crimps. Oh, did it. Now I do need to always widen this -1 because it's a wee bit tight. These are hard crimps to put on such good terminals. Better in the end. Okay, they're on. Set that down there. Power these in. There we go. Speaker in. Good to go. So what I did say I needed to do is put a layer of... Oh, it looks so pretty though. Let's take a picture of it before we put the ugly foam tape on it, I think. Well, at least I know that it's not gonna, like, sticky stick to it and stay on there when I try and take it off. There we go, guys. It's not pretty, it's not as nice looking now as it was when it didn't have it, but at least this will prevent any potential rattles between the front of that and this plastic rim here. So that's in, time to put the door card back on. Oh wait, I need to secure the factory speaker wire first, my bad. That's fine, that's not going to go anywhere. Obviously all the wiring and, well, not the wiring, obviously all that sort of thing will get redone when I sound dead in the car anyway. Cool, and yep, it all goes on. Let's have a look. Just as long as I can see the membrane. Do a quick check, proof of concept, make sure that that foam is hitting it. Once I figure out how to get this off without this popper. There we go. Okay, let's have a look. Yep, that's working. I can see the indent that the plastic has left on the foam. Put this thingy back on. Done. Okay. The window up. The window thing still doesn't work, guys. I've tried the coding so many times, it still just doesn't work. The locking thing works. That works. We're all good. I suppose I should just do a quick check and make sure it's working. Going. It's going. That's all I need to know is that it's going. Okay, so one door down. I've shown you guys all in detail how I did the process. So the next one I might as well just time lapse it. I realized I didn't really show much detail in how I installed my rear speakers. I kind of just said I'm going to make some baffles, time lapse, here's the baffles, time lapse, up they're in and back together. So I tried to give you guys a bit more detail as to how I actually, figured things out and made them and secured them this time around. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let's hop into a time lapse and I'll chuck the other speaker in the door, put the door back together, and then we'll turn it all on. And then one day we'll tune the amp, one day. Okay, so I got the woofers installed. Now here's some footage from the other day when I installed the tweeters. So I didn't really think it was necessary to show you guys the whole process, but I basically started doing the tweeters. So these are the factory Subaru tweeters with this mounting plate thing. So basically what I do is I just copied that shape to a piece of black ABS plastic and I'm just mounting the focal cups through them. And then to sort of bridge the gap, I'm not sure if I'll use this or some foam tape, but I want to get it right up against the grill here in some way. So I'll probably, put some foam tape around there sort of area so that it like seals it off. Just some dabs of super glue to sort of lock it in there. They're not going to go anywhere, like what's going to happen, they're just tweeter cups. So I just thought I'd show you this because the way the tweeters actually lock into these cups is pretty cool. So we're going to take the grill thing off. That thing. This goes in like that, and then we use this key here to turn it. Rotate into position. There we go. And now this grill just drops on like that and pushes into place. There we go. Took some working, but I got it in. Okay, so I've got my tweeter wires soldered up. I decided rather than, cutting it short, I'd just leave all the original tweeter wire on there and just bundle it. So now, should be able to I put a couple of dabs of RTV at the sides there as well to hold it in the long term. Pull this down out of the way. Gotta get this in here. Okay, I think that's in place. Yeah, I haven't put any foam or anything in there yet. How close does it come? Probably don't need to, thinking about it. Do I need to? I don't think I need to. I reckon that'll be fine. That's one done. Sweet. Let's have a listen and see if they're going. Sounds like they're going. Okay guys, we're back here today. Just doing one thing, if I can, that I didn't do the other day, that I would like to do if possible. I've got this foam ring here thing that to seal it off. It's slightly narrower than I need, but maybe once I've got this paper off it, I can stretch it. Or I could take it. Yeah, that's just too narrow. What I might do, cut it. Now I can put it like around the tweeter, and I don't mind having a section missing from the side closest to the listener, because that way at least sound's going to funnel out in that direction anyway. I think that'll do, just like that. It should stick down, and now hopefully this thing goes on now, so this has to plug in. Short little wire for whatever this sensor is. Okay, now is this still going to go in? I think it will. Oh yeah, we're all good. Let's have a look. I can't really see where that is because of the thing in the way. Right, okay, so that's... Oh, you know, that lines up pretty well actually. Yeah, no, I'll keep that, I'm happy with that. I'll do the same on the other side. There we go. Here's the other one. Now, stick this. My hand's right in the way of seeing everything, I know. But this is a very small cavity to work in. There we go. Even though it doesn't go all the way around, that's just going to help to prevent any sound getting lost to the inside of this cavity that this is sitting in, because that grill doesn't quite meet the underside of this grill here. So it should just help. Yeah, that meets up pretty good. I'm happy with it. Sweet.
Of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been laughing and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. It's such a sweet life. Been spending most of our lives living in gangster's paradise. Such a lovely place.
Okay guys, well it sounds pretty decent at the moment. I'm super happy. What I do want to do is just take the covers off these crossovers and tinker with the settings to see if changing anything makes it sound any better. Just to have a go. I've had it running for a wee while now to kind of wear the speakers in a wee bit, and I must say the amplifier is a bit warmer than I expected. To be honest, it is, yeah, I can't hold it for too long, it is quite warm. The fans I think are definitely going. What is it? I can't tell what way they're blowing though. I can't tell if they're sucking or blowing air out of these vents. So I need to have a good look at that. I think I may have to put like a fan or something down here to keep it a bit cooler. But anyway, these settings, what do we got? We got 0 and minus 3 dB, and then we got high and flat for the mid. At the moment it's set to, let's try flat. It's probably a very hard to notice difference. The ones at the far ends that say flat or high.
And switch both crosses.
Yeah. Alright, go. Man, no. Alright, hold on. Go again. Friends, try the tweeter ones now. What's that? Oh, okay, I didn't even hear it. Go again. Go to minus 3. I honestly can't hear any sound changing. That's so, I thought 3 decibels would be a lot, you know? Can you hear it?
No.
Probably prefer minus 3, since they are in the corners. I probably should show you guys this just in case some of you haven't seen my other videos and you're watching the speaker install. This is where I've got the crossovers, by the way. So they're just under this panel here, all the wires are ran up the front. This panel sits over top, and eventually I'll get some plexiglass to go in here with some red LEDs around them, and then this is just here to protect them for the time being. But yeah, playing with those switches, like with Grant flicking them and me sitting at the front, I couldn't hear any noticeable audio difference. So I'll just leave them at factory with the tweeters at 0 dB and the setting for the woofer on high. And there's the amplifier, which is getting warm. I need to mute it. I need to know what way these fans are going. Okay, so I've figured out that the fans at this end are sucking air in, so they must, and blowing air out this end. So I need to put a fan around here somewhere that is going to blow air towards it and like past it. But otherwise, for now, this can go back down. Cool, I can put this tray thing back in there. Cool. Well guys, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm so happy with how it sounds. Absolutely unbelievable. They sound amazing. This is why I went for these speakers and not something cheaper or more convenient. It was worth trying to fit them in those holes. It was tricky figuring out the shape and size, but so worth it. They sound amazing. You can see from my expression, hopefully, how good it sounded. The next step is definitely going to be to tune the amp. At the moment the gains are just set at like their factory position, which is about half, with all the EQs and crossovers set to off and everything like that. So the next step is definitely going to be tuning it with the setup disc that comes with it. What I might do is make like a, not a Project Legacy but just a regular Audio.etc video about how to tune an amplifier. I get a lot of requests for how to tune an amplifier, so I'll try and use my one as an example and talk about all the different ways of tuning gains and crossovers and other settings that amplifiers sometimes come with, like EQ or bass knobs or infrasonic sensors, that sort of thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for always coming back and enjoying the videos and commenting. I love hearing your feedback. It sounds so good in here now. I cannot wait to have sound deadening in this car, because there's real good bass now. It's nice and warm, but I can hear the metal of the car flexing, trying to absorb the bass that the speakers are putting out. So as soon as I get some deadening in here, it's gonna actually be like having a 10-inch sub. And then I'm adding a 12-inch sub onto the system as well. So next step, I don't think I'll get the sound deadening done before I do the subwoofer. I think I need to do that first, but it's gonna be interesting to hear the listening difference between having the having this and then adding a subwoofer and then adding sound deadening and then turning the subwoofer off and seeing how much bass difference there is between having the, between having the subwoofer on or off, because the sound deadening is going to make such a difference to the speakers anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching. Choose to be happy, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ka kite anō.